Okay. Does anyone have any questions? Hello, yeah?
It's not a question as much, but I know someone else this is starting to happen to in NHS.
Right.
She's a nurse, but she goes around visiting people.
She's a domiciliary nurse?
Yeah.
Oh, so this is somebody else in the NHS who's suffering the same...
Yeah, she's going through the early stages. I think what they're saying, she's quite outspoken on Facebook, and I think she drops hints sometimes to people she's visiting, but I think it's more to do with complementary therapies she's suggested.
All right, yeah.
And now she's under like a supervisory, she's going to actually have someone escorting her now.
Oh, good
So
grief.
I'll put her in contact with you anyway, so you can compare notes and a bit more support.
Thanks very much, yeah. There's a gentleman here.
Yeah, are you going for wrongful dismissal?
Unfair dismissal, yeah, I'm looking into that at the moment. Currently what's happening is, I'm waiting for them to send me some paperwork from work. Again, they did that enormously over this entire case, which leads me they seem almost half-hearted about what they're doing. And, you know, it was back on the 6th of January that I was officially discharged, but they still haven't sent me the official paperwork. It's not a problem because they're still paying me the £30 a week severance pay, so it's money in my pocket, but I want to get the paperwork through so that I can maybe look into taking legal action.
Yeah, because then you might be able to find out more about where stuff comes from, like an anonymous. Why did they allow something anonymous to be used against you?
They claim they can do that. I mean, I don't know. Yeah.
In a court of law.
I know, well, someone's already told me that the amount of circumstantial evidence I have might be enough to sway the situation and actually convince an industrial tribunal, you know, even without the direct evidence. So there's someone with turquoise there. Is it David? Sorry.
Yeah, you said you thought maybe GM or might be involved. What's GM?
GM?
You said that someone might be involved in extensive letters.
An MP, a member of Parliament. Yeah, there was a rumour going round, I mean, I don't know how true this is, but it was going round in my trade union that an MP was involved in a complaint against me. Now again, you know, all this has been kept from us, it's all been done in a very secretive manner. So I don't know yet, you know, I don't know. Miles?
Don't trust your union, they'll be complicit in it.
Don't trust the union?
They will be complicit. Also, you need to check your internet connections, how many connections you have. They'll probably be hacking your internet.
Right, it's funny you should say that because I've had interference on my line since then.
You could maybe get the best part of a dozen connections,
Right.
as opposed to only 4. Maybe even a higher number. In fact, I've got potential evidence that the Murdoch thing, don't you just hack phones, you've been hacking your internet.
Right, thanks.
That's not just Murdoch.
Yeah, thanks Miles. Heidi.
Yeah, I actually agree with you where you think that it's coming from somewhere much higher up and not within the hospital as such. Who's behind this whole operation?
Definitely, yeah. And that's not even, they actually admitted that. They said, no one, they got no problem with my work. No one in the hospital's complained. It's come from outside. Yeah, and gentleman at the back.
Yeah, did they show you the email? Because it must have had an email address on it.
They showed me the email was blanked out. The email address it was sent from was blanked out. You know, but basically it was very, very short to the point, which is unusual for a letter of complaint from the public, yeah. The lady there?
It's just another observation that I've experienced, well, I've seen, not experienced personally, but it seems that if you work for a big corporation or someone like the NHS, it's as though they can get rid of you easily, but when if someone's going for a complaint with a small company, a small business, they're getting like 14,000, 15,000. I know of 2 cases, and basically they were complaining about having their hours reduced. If you work for a corporation and they just cut your day, you wouldn't be able to do anything. So it seems as though they want to get rid of small businesses, so any tribunals involving a supposed victim, they're just going from the close the business down.
Yeah, there's definitely, I mean, this is going off into other areas, and I'm happy to discuss other subjects with people if you like. But the attack against the small businesses, the independent traders, in favour of the mega corporations, you know, I mean, we've all seen how small shops are disappearing, and you see a Tesco's appear in their place, you know, and there's no doubt, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if this was connected with that in some way. But they, turquoise again.
Slightly off subject, but they're talking about Tesco. I don't know if people know this, but there's like a new range of convenience stores called One Stop Shop, springing up all over the place. They are actually owned by Tesco's.
Oh my God, the one-stop shops are owned by Tesco's.
I know this. My
Yeah.
mum has rents. She owns a shop building. She rents out. She used to rent it out to an independent retailer. Then it got taken over by One Stop, and now it turns out they're Tesco's. And when my dad died last year, they took the opportunity
I'm sorry.
to actually took the opportunity to harass my mum and bombard her with letters saying she just lost all my pensions, her husband just died. They had a year free without rent. And they have such huge employers that in the end my mum had to, she fought them a bit, but she wasn't up for it. And ended up getting 3 months rent free, that big company, the amount of money that they make. My widow just lost her husband. Scum. They're scum, they really is.
This is great. I tell you, they're harassing. They're doing this in Oxford to people who live on the boats in the river. The ones Philip Pullman, the writer, put them into his books, in his fancy books. And there's basically these people who there's a community of independent people who are very non-conformist and tend to be self-employed who live in the boats on the rivers in Oxford. They've been harassed continuously by the council, and they keep sending them letters that, even if they don't want to make any serious point, they just keep sending letters which any lawyer will take apart in 5 minutes. But they don't care, they just want to keep the pressure up on these people. Even if it doesn't mean making a serious legal case. They accuse them of the most ridiculous things. It's definitely an agenda of destroying a culture. It's a form of genocide. It's a hiding.
Yes, I was in Brighton a few years ago, and then someone gave me a leaflet. There was protesters outside a Starbucks cafe because they just moved this Starbucks cafe into the old side of Brighton without a lease or anything.
Yeah, they can get. See, they'll put things up. They're doing this in Oxford without planning permission.
Yeah.
And there's a big fuss at the moment because there's a nicer independent shop on a pub place in Oxford, and they're trying to convert an old pub into a Tesco's. It turns out they don't have planning permission. They've already started building. It's ridiculous. And it's just the rules just don't count for these people, you know.
It's these people that they think that they're immune to everything because
Yeah.
they're obviously the Illuminati. It's like a pyramid.
Yeah.
And David Icke describes it as the Russian dolls. The more higher up the pyramid, you're immune to having to have planning permission.
Yeah. Those who serve the snake get the.
Yeah.
You know, I can't remember how the rest of it goes, but it's a proverb. Those who serve the snake get the choice cuts or something. You know. Hello there.
Hi. Yeah, when you talk about who the higher ups are behind this kind of decision, in your case, it's going to be common purpose. They'll be involved at some point because you find that they absolutely infest the health service and the media and local government, and all of their graduates are like clones of each other, and they enforce a very strict kind of political correctness, and they also promote a way of doing things which is kind of administrative process, like the guy was asking you about, this, how they can, judge you on the strength of like anonymous information they've gotten or complaints or whatever, and their whole purpose, common purpose, is to kind of subvert and have like an end run around any of the proper kind of checks and balances or processes. So you can be sure that it'll be because of their influence, and you'll see more and more of this kind of thing. So the most important thing that any of us can do is expose them and their role in the state and all the institutions that they're tied up in.
Expose common purpose. That's right. I think that's very likely that it's something that's what you're saying is true. I don't know specifically, but I think it's extremely likely that what you're saying is the case in my particular case. There's no doubt. I mean, if this came from outside the hospital, the chances are it originated in the Department of Health. How, I don't know, but it was obviously connected with my appearance in the national newsprint media. Kathy, how much time?
5 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyone else? John?
Two things. The newspaper article, was it mentioned at the hearing at any time?
It was actually, it's the funny thing, it was not mentioned at the investigation meeting or the hearing, yet it was in the case dossier. Which makes strange why they put it, I don't know why they put it in there at all, actually. It
But
depends.
that would be a good case for your compensation, because even a small, the newspaper article should have been mentioned at the hearing. You can't send after you've had the hearing and add something else to it, because it wasn't mentioned in the actual hearing. Also, when you went to that final hearing, did you have somebody there as a witness?
Yes, I did. I had two shop stewards with me. One was representing me, one was a witness. As for it seems to me that the way they've actually done this with me it's been botched quite badly, actually. It's almost as if there may have been two groups of people trying to build a case against me, and neither one was quite sure what the other wanted to do. Because in one case, they had the newspaper report in the hearing, and then when the dossier was actually sent to me afterwards, they wouldn't discuss it. So it was quite a bad. Maybe this is why it's taken so long, Miles?
Well, I would have thought so.
The newspaper, you were probably chosen to be put in the newspaper to start with in order to help build the case.
Oh, right. Yeah, someone has said that to me.
It's not because you weren't in the newspapers, because they wanted you in the newspaper. That's how newspapers work.
Yeah. That's it's just some people have said that because the way that I was actually the people at the conference actually came to me, approached me and asked me to do the interview. Some people said, well, do you think they did that in order to generate the reactions to come against you? Now, I don't know, I mean, it's...
Yeah, it would be. Always take a photograph of everybody taking an interview.
Yeah, okay. Anyone else? I've got a couple of minutes?
Yeah.
One more?
Excuse me. In terms of your appeal for a wrongful dismissal, I appreciate that you're going to do the thing about how you're set up, but do you not think you should also go down the line of freedom of speech?
Yeah, that's something I'm looking into now. I'm actually speaking to a white rabbit lawyer about that. Yeah, I think this lady had her hand up over as well. One more.
Just regarding common purpose, are you aware of the list of the common purpose graduates, common purpose exposed?
Yes, I am. I checked it a little while. I haven't checked it in the last couple of months. I should do. But I checked it last year, and I didn't see any names I noticed. But there were people within the health authority and the Oxford Racket Trust. There were people named there. Yeah.
Well, we found that there's someone in Occupy, or part of that, that's a common purpose graduate. So.
Oh, the Occupy thing is, yeah, that's a big. I mean, I don't think we've got time to go into that now, but that's a big issue. The true nature of the people who are involved in Occupy. Yeah, that's right. Thanks very much for listening, all of you. Thank you.